Just when everyone thought season 19 would be business as usual, Amber Marshall, the heart of Heartland, spoke up and changed everything. In just a few sentences, she left fans shocked, hopeful, and deeply concerned. Her words weren't just about her character, Amy, they hinted at a much bigger shift, maybe even the end of an era. Amber Marshall recently appeared on a live podcast with a well-known Canadian entertainment host. It started out light, talking about horses, filming on the ranch, and her love for the fans. But about halfway through, the mood shifted. The host asked her what we can expect from season 19. Amber paused, looked down for a moment, and then said something that made the entire fandom stop in their tracks. This season feels different. Not just in the story, but in my heart. I think fans will feel it too. That one sentence set off a storm. Was she talking about Amy leaving the ranch? Was something happening behind the scenes? Amber didn't give it all away, but she didn't hold back either. She explained how filming this season felt more emotional than any before. She admitted that some of the scenes hit her harder than she expected, like they were closing a chapter, not just moving forward in the story. She also shared a story from the set that made fans wonder even more. During one late-night shoot, she said she broke down after finishing a scene with Lindy. "I just sat there crying," she said. "It wasn't even scripted to be sad, but something inside me just cracked open." That kind of emotional response doesn't come out of nowhere. It sounds like Amber knows something big is coming, and it's personal. Then came the real shocker. When asked if she thought Amy would stay on the ranch forever, Amber replied, "I used to think so, but now, I don't know." That was the first time she's ever questioned Amy's future on Heartland. And coming from her, that means a lot. Amy isn't just a character. She's the anchor of the entire show. So for Amber to say she's unsure, that changes everything. The reaction from fans was instant. Social media lit up with comments, theories, and worry. Some fans praised her honesty, saying it shows how connected she still is to her role. Others feared it might be a quiet way of saying goodbye. "Please tell me she's not leaving," one fan wrote. Heartland without Amy isn't Heartland, but Amber wasn't negative. In fact, she also said something hopeful. "Even if we move into new places, the heart of Heartland is still love, family, and healing. That will never change." So maybe this isn't the end, but a transformation. Still, her words stayed with everyone. They weren't just about plot lines or episodes. They were about feeling, about change, and maybe even about closure, whether it's the beginning of a bold new direction or a final farewell. One thing is clear: Amber Marshall is preparing us for something we're not ready for, and this is only the beginning. In the next part, we'll dive deeper into what she revealed about Amy's emotional journey in season 19 and why it's unlike anything we've seen before. Asterisk. She didn't say it directly, but the way Amber talked about Amy's journey in season 19 felt like a goodbye wrapped in gentle words. Her voice softened as she spoke about Amy's path, almost as if she was trying to comfort the fans while still preparing them for something painful. What she said next left everyone stunned. Amy isn't the same anymore. After everything she's been through, maybe she's finally ready to choose herself. That one line changed the way fans see season 19 for years. Amy has carried the weight of the ranch, her daughter, her grief over Ty, and the expectations of everyone around her. She's been the rock, the healer, the one who always holds it together. But Amber hinted that Amy might finally stop being strong for everyone else and start asking what she really wants. Amber said, "Amy will face choices this season that she's never had to make before. Not just about the ranch, not just about her daughter, but about her own happiness. She's questioning what home really means," Amber said, "and whether it's where she's always been or somewhere new." That was a heavy statement. Could it mean Amy is thinking of leaving the ranch? Starting a new life away from everything she's ever known? Fans immediately picked up on it. Dozens of theories exploded online. Some believe Amy may be considering a move for Lindy's future. Others think she might finally allow herself to fall in love again, and that decision could pull her away from the familiar world of Heartland. A few even wondered if Amy's story might come full circle and lead her to something completely unexpected like passing the torch to Lindy. Amber didn't confirm any of those theories, but she didn't shut them down either. Instead, she said, something even more mysterious. Sometimes, a character surprises even me. Amy took a turn this season I didn't see coming, and I just followed her. That made it clear something major is happening. And even Amber didn't expect it when filming began. What's more, she praised the writers for giving Amy space to grow in new directions. She said the scripts were bold and quietly emotional, filled with moments that don't rely on drama but on deep, personal choices. That kind of writing usually means character change and maybe even closure. Amy is growing, Amber said, and growth often means letting go. There was also a moment in the podcast where Amber talked about one specific scene that shook her. She didn't give away the full details, but she said it involved a moment between Amy and Jack. It felt like two people finally saying what's been unsaid for years. She revealed. Fans took that as another clue maybe Amy is preparing to leave, and this was her way of seeking Jack's blessing. Even though Amber never used the word goodbye, everything she said pointed to deep transformation. Amy may not be leaving Heartland in a dramatic or tragic way, but she might be stepping into a new life, one where she's no longer defined by her past. That's what makes it so emotional for longtime fans. They've watched her grow, grieve, and rebuild, then now they may have to watch her fly, and yet there's a strange comfort in how Amber described it. She spoke with love, respect, and pride in Amy's journey. Whatever happens, it's clear she believes the character is doing what's right. For herself, for Lindy, for the future. In the next section, we'll explore how other cast members responded to Amber's words, and why some fans believe her comments might have quietly shaken the entire Heartland cast behind the scenes. No one expected the quiet storm that followed Amber Marshall's words, but behind the scenes, her comments started a ripple effect. It wasn't loud, it wasn't dramatic, but something shifted. For the first time in years, the usually tight-lipped Heartland cast and crew seemed uncertain. And the fans noticed. Soon after Amber's interview dropped, eagle-eyed viewers began watching every move from her co-stars. On social media, small signs started to appear. Michelle Morgan, Lou, posted a cryptic Instagram story showing the sunrise over the ranch with the caption, "Every ending has a beginning." That one sentence sent fans into a frenzy. Was she reacting to Amber's statement? Was Lou's character also about to change? Or was this her way of saying goodbye too? Even more telling was the silence from some of the biggest names on the show. Graham Wardle, who played Ty, hasn't been active on social media for a while. But suddenly, fans began resharing his old quotes about completing a journey and knowing when it's time to move on. In this new context, those words hit differently. Some started to wonder, did Amber and Graham know all along that the story was reaching its final chapters? Meanwhile, behind the cameras, crew members began dropping subtle hints. A lighting technician, known to post fun behind-the-scenes content, suddenly shared a photo of a dark barn with a single lantern glowing inside. His caption read, "Last light hits differently." No mention of Amber, no mention of Amy, but the message was clear: something was ending, and the people making the show felt it. One of the most emotional moments came from a younger cast member. Bae McPherson, who plays Katie, posted a short video of herself walking through the fields in full costume, looking out at the hills. She said softly, "This place, it holds so much history. I hope I'm honoring it." Fans took this as a sign that the younger generation might be preparing to step forward while the older characters step back. But it wasn't just cryptic posts and poetic captions. A few brave voices actually responded to Amber directly. In a Q&A live stream, Alicia Newton, Georgie, was asked if she heard Amber's comments. She nodded slowly and said, "We all felt it. This season, yeah, it's different. But sometimes different is good." That's the closest anyone came to confirming what fans feared, that season 19 might be a turning point, not just for Amy, but for the entire series. Fans couldn't stop talking about it. On forums, Reddit threads, and Facebook groups, the conversations exploded. Is Heartland preparing to end? Are they passing the torch? What's going on with Amy, Lou, and Georgie? People dug through every interview, every behind-the-scenes clip, searching for answers. Some were hopeful, believing the show was entering a bold new chapter. Others were heartbroken, fearing this was the beginning of the end. And while no one from CBC officially responded, one writer for the show liked a comment on Twitter that said, "Sometimes characters need to move on, even when we don't want them to." That small act felt like a quiet confirmation. The story was shifting, and everyone involved knew it, but even with all the theories and whispers, Amber remained calm. She didn't backtrack. She didn't explain further. Her silence after the storm was just as powerful as her words. It left the fans with one lingering feeling: change is coming. And it's already begun. In the next section, we'll explore exactly what these changes could mean for the future of Heartland and why fans are preparing for a season that could break hearts and rewrite the legacy of the show forever. Asterisk, what if this isn't just a new season, but the beginning of the end? That's the question every fan is now asking. After Amber Marshall's emotional revelations and the quiet, telling reactions from the cast, a new theory is spreading across the Heartland community like wildfire. Season 19 may not just bring change. It might bring closure. At first glance, Season 19 looked like another chapter in the long-running story. But as pieces started falling into place, fans began noticing something different. Storylines are tightening. Long arcs are coming full circle. And the emotional tone, deeper than ever before. It no longer feels like the writers are building up now. It feels like they're winding down. Amber's comments hinted at personal growth, distance, and tough decisions. And they weren't alone. The writers have started giving more screen time to the next generation: Katie, Lindy, Parker, almost like they're preparing them to carry the weight of the story forward, or more hauntingly, to be the last voices we hear, some fans believe. We're watching a slow farewell, a graceful exit that lets characters step away naturally instead of being cut off abruptly. Amy choosing herself, Lou stepping into a new leadership role outside the ranch, Jack offering his final wisdom before disappearing into the quiet hills. These aren't just character developments, they feel like conclusions. And then there's the pacing. Heartland has always been a slow-burn, character-driven show. But this season, according to early leaks and cast interviews, the moments are more intimate. Less about new plots and more about reflecting on the past. Old faces might return, long-forgotten storylines might be resolved. These are the signs of a show writing its final love letter to its audience. One fan wrote in a forum, "It's like they're walking us through the memories, preparing us to say goodbye without actually saying it." And that's exactly how Season 19 is starting to feel. A farewell without the announcement. A gentle letting go. Even the ranch itself has taken on a different feeling. In early trailer clips and photos from set, there's a stillness to it, a sense of nostalgia, as if the land knows something is ending. The golden fields, the stables, the quiet moments between characters, they all feel like echoes of the show's beginning. A beautiful, bittersweet loop closing in on itself, but here's the twist. Amber didn't sound sad. She sounded peaceful. And that's what truly caught everyone off guard. "Growth often means letting go," she said. And maybe that's the message of Season 19, not that Heartland is ending in tragedy, but that it's ending with love, with dignity, with meaning. It might not be a dramatic finale with explosions or heartbreak. It might just be a season full of quiet, powerful goodbyes. Smiles through tears, long rides through familiar trails. One last family dinner at the ranch house. And then silence. So what happens next? Does Heartland end with Season 19? Or does it evolve into something new with a different generation leading the way? At this point, nothing has been confirmed. But fans are preparing for both. And in true Heartland fashion, whatever comes, love will be at the center of it. Asterisk, Amber Marshall didn't need to say the word goodbye for the world to feel it. Her calm tone, her careful choice of words, her deep reflection on Amy's journey, it all pointed to something bigger than a single season. It pointed to the closing of a chapter that's defined Canadian television for nearly 2 decades. And now, fans everywhere are beginning to ask the hardest question of all: if this is the end, what will Amy Fleming's legacy be? Since the very first episode, Amy has been more than just a character. She has been a symbol of healing, strength, and grace. She's the girl who could whisper to horses, but more importantly, she could listen to people truly listen. She carried others' pain without ever letting go of her own. She survived loss, found love, built a life, raised a daughter, and kept the ranch running when everything around her changed. Amber didn't just play Amy, she became her. That's why her words hit so hard. When she said, "I think Amy's," finally asking herself who she really is without all the expectations, it didn't just sound like character growth. It sounded like a woman preparing to take her final bow with dignity. The beauty of Heartland has always been its honesty. It never needed high drama or big city lights to keep people watching. It was about the small moments, the quiet strength, the long rides and tearful hugs. And if season 19 truly is the last full season with Amy at the center, then Amber Marshall will have completed one of the most emotionally rich and consistent performances in modern TV history. But fans don't want it to end. They're holding on, hoping that maybe the show will continue even if Amy steps back, hoping that maybe Lindy, Katie, or Georgie will carry the torch, hoping for one more sunrise over the barn, one more family dinner, one more ride down those golden fields. Still, endings aren't always sad. Sometimes they're necessary. Sometimes letting go is the greatest act of love, both for the character and for the audience. Amber hinted at this in her final comments during the interview. She smiled gently and said, "Whatever comes next, I'm proud of Amy, of the journey, of what we built together." And maybe that's what fans need to hear. Whether or not season 19 marks the end of Heartland or simply a turning point, Amber Marshall's role will remain legendary. She gave us someone to believe in. Someone who showed us that healing is messy, love is complicated, and family chosen or blood is everything. So, now, as we look ahead, we're not just waiting for the next plot twist or dramatic reveal. We're preparing our hearts. Because if this truly is the last ride for Amy Fleming, then let it be remembered as one of beauty, strength, and quiet transformation. Whatever happens, Heartland will never be the same, and maybe that's exactly the point.